Good morning to our lovely viewers. Welcome to the weekly gospel. My name is Amazing Katamanda. I'm so excited. Today we are talking about something that is close to my heart, and I think a lot of people have experienced this, or maybe others get to mistake it for other things. Sometimes you're sad and you think you're depressed, but we have the experts from the association, the mental association. I'm joined by Memory as well as Emmanuel. So if you have any comments and contributions, do feel free to go on our Facebook page, leave your comments there. We'll be more than glad to hear from you, and let's just get learning together about depression. Unfortunately, we cannot take your calls. The only thing we can do is just receive your text messages. So do be part and parcel of the show by doing the needful. The phone numbers are right there on TV screens, or better yet, you can go on our Facebook page and leave your comments here. I'm your host, Amazing Katamanda is my name. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to have you this morning. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for leaving whatever you are doing just to come here and help us understand this interesting topic of depression. But before we even get to that, let's just get to know who Memory is and also who Emmanuel is. Ladies first. So Memory, we'll start with you.
So Memory Ndima is a student at Levi Mwanawasa Medical University, doing bachelor's of mental health in in psychiatry. I'm in 4th year. This is my final year. Yes. Okay. I'm so passionate about mental health. Yes.
Interesting. What about you, Emmanuel?
So, my name is Emmanuel Namba Michomi, and pursuing my diploma in mental health and psychiatric nursing. Yes, I'm in my 2nd year.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Why though medical, or why though a mental course?
So why I chose mental health, I feel there are a lot of people that need help out there, because a lot of people really don't know what's happening with them, and they really need help. We've seen a lot of people committing suicide, murdering other people, but it's like they really don't know what's happening with them. So I think it's high time we need to at least put up that view of mental health to people, and they really need help. They need to see that there are people out there that are willing to help them through their journey. Yes.
Okay. Emmanuel, is there any special reason or any specific reason why you decided to go for a mental course?
Yes, looking at the fact that where I come from, it is a family that had experiences they had experiences in some sort of mental illnesses. So now it was one way of me coming out as a savior, I would put it, because looking at how people were busy misusing, their lives and all that, it brought them to a point where there was so much breaking down in suicidal cases. So I thought maybe in fact not really a thought, but if I would pull through in this, I would really help not only my family, but also help the young people out there that are really facing these challenges, because these are real-time challenges that people are facing without them knowing the etiology or the causes of why they are experiencing certain things. So me coming into play is it will be key to a lot of young people, because it will help them out in some case.
Okay, I'm glad that you have taken it very personal And truth is, all of us are affected in one way or the other.
Sure.
But today we're talking about depression. And most of us use the word. Sometimes we don't even know what it means. We just use it. Oh, I'm depressed. But we don't really know what depression is. So just getting it from you, can you just please tell us briefly what depression is?
Okay, depression is, like it has a lot of names and all that. People define it in so many ways, but depression itself is a multifaceted condition that actually affects the neurological functions. So it affects how you think, and people would take it for being sad, but it's a neurological condition. It is associated with so many factors that we are going to talk about in our discussion.
Okay. Memory, do you also want to say something, or I can go ahead with my question?
I think he said the most important thing, but mental health, sometimes, I can say it's a mental disorder where one will present with feeling of emptiness, sadness, and so on.
Okay, but when do we actually get to the place where we diagnose to say this is depression?
Okay, we diagnose depression depending on, because we look at time frame. Time frame is what really matters. So when we are doing our history, when we're doing our history taking, we are going to rule out depression because this patient or this person is going to present with some sort of social isolation and this person is having emotional issues. So these emotional issues are associated with me not being open up. Yes, I'm stressed, I am empty within me, I don't have any person to look at. So this person with depression comes in, and how we are going to diagnose is when we are looking at our history and our mental state examination, there are certain factors that we consider to be in place. Like when we look at environmental stresses, we're going to look at a medical condition associated to it. We're also going to look at psychological, how the person's mind is affected and all that. But mostly associated with these factors, it could be biological, psychological, environmental, and the medical condition. So even when we're doing our diagnosis, we have to look at them from that point of view, not just this person is sad, maybe it's just a one-day thing, because there are depressive episodes that are associated with a different mental condition. Yes, so it is on its own, I can say on its own it will take time for us to come up with a diagnosis, but involving those factors that I've mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Memory. A lot of us, we like saying I'm depressed, I'm depressed, I'm depressed. Even when you haven't been to the experts to tell you, or the professionals, we just diagnose ourselves to say I'm depressed.
Yes.
And others will even put themselves on drugs. What can you really say about that? Like, when can we accept to say, okay, now I am really depressed? And what other condition is I don't know how I can really describe it, but is there any condition that is similar to depression before it gets to depression?
I think yes, there are other conditions that are similar to depression. Yes, but as you asked, like, we diagnose ourselves first. There are times where you are just feeling low, and it's just maybe a one-day thing, and you say you're depressed, but that's not really depression, as I can say it, because depression also, we look at duration. Yes, so I feel first what you need to do for you to know that this is depression, you see the time frame ever since you started feeling like that, and acceptance, yes. You need to go to the hospital if you see that this is like too much, and not just too much, if you just feel, no, I'm not okay. I've lost maybe interest in things that
used to make me happy, things that used to make sense.
Yes. And you see the time, you have to like go to the hospital, to the clinic, or see anyone that you can talk to, and
Okay, so Emmanuel,
Sure.
Are there, like, for lack of better term, I'll say maybe layers to depression? Because I have seen some people who are depressed, but they were very happy. They were, like, in front of people, they would just do all these normal things. They didn't isolate themselves. They were just normal people. And before you know it, we just hear the story like, oh, he hanged himself or she hanged herself. And then there are those ones who've like really isolated themselves, like memory has mentioned, to say there are some who just like, isolate themselves. They just want to be alone. They lose interest in doing the things that used to make them happy. They are no longer themselves. It's evident. You can tell, like, this person is not fine. And then there are just those ones who go about their normal activities. When they are alone, that's when they are allowed to be in their emotions, or they allow themselves to be in their emotions. But we hear of stories, they kill themselves, and now we're wondering, but that person looked happy, how did they kill themselves? So I want to know, like, are there really stages of to depression where we can say, okay, when you are able to cover it up, this is the stage that you're at, and if now you maybe isolate yourself with severe or the likes?
Yes, depression is associated with so many of that. So there are people that are going to present with manic episodes. So manic episodes where this person is always happy. You get this person continues being happy to a point where they just like they break, and then they stop being happy anymore. We are going to associate depression with people that are in, at times they are also found in manic patients, a person that has mania. Mania, this is a condition that is associated with elevated mood, hyperactivity. You are always there. I think most of us have experienced such people, people that have always been happy. I would term that as ambivalence. This is where this person is can no longer find pleasure in things that are pleasurable. So it can also be associated with schizophrenic patient and patients that are bipolar, always having mood swings and all that. So it, when we look at, I wouldn't really give it stages, because it comes in all these things. So itself, we treat them according to the symptoms, how this patient is behaving. So even the treatment is going to be based on the behavior. So like a person that comes, the person that you've heard of, as in maybe this person was happy, and then from nowhere they just get into depression. I would say maybe it wasn't really depression. We can also put it as maybe it is an acute anxiety disorder, because even acute anxiety disorder, people may also present with such things where they are stressed, as in, that the level of anxiety to them is just it's a bizarre to them. So it ends up taking them just so quickly. So without a medical intervention, it will be very hard. Then those are the people that we can say they have had certain episodes, depressing episodes in their life. It's not just a one-day thing that they come to that. So it takes them the time. So it might be maybe 3 or 4 times they were experiencing that, then they cannot do it anymore. That's when maybe they just say, let me just take my life. Okay. So it becomes, I would say suicide is also another topic which we could come and discuss, but in this context, I just want us to focus on that, the depressing part. So there are those, we cannot classify it according to stages, but it is an overall
Okay.
Yes, which we consider a time frame. So this person that you were seen to be happy at some point, and then from nowhere they just do that. It started from somewhere. That's why, like in our preamble, we made mention that we look at it from a point where it is associated with something. Was this person, maybe it is a biological thing, or it is a psychological or environmental. Especially when dealing with environmental, it is very critical, because it will look at a person from maybe losing someone, they've lost a person that they loved, losing a beloved, or maybe unemployment. Yes. So those environmental factors are the ones that are going to trigger that up, and then this person will be, each and every day we will begin to see, okay, isolation. This person begins to be isolated. This person, the following day, doesn't want to talk to anyone, doesn't want to talk to anyone. Maybe the next thing you see is, I just want to just start walking. They just start moving about. Then those thoughts come in. Then psychologically, it starts to play in. Because even when you're looking at neuroplasticity, all those factors will be associated, because they'll start adapting to that, and then they'll make up their mind as in, I just want to do this, I just want to be depressed, I don't want to talk to anyone. So it is in that. Stages are really associated with certain factors that are causing that person to be depressed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, then to add on, I think when sometimes you can observe someone, just their talks, the things they talk about, maybe they are talking about suicidal things, that's like a bad stage and it's an emergency. So you just need to intervene. If there is need of taking them to the hospital, just as you observe that, you just need to take them even by force, so that they can get some
help, the necessary help they need. Okay, so to the viewers, if you're just joining us, this is the Weekly Gospel, and I am joined by Memory and Emmanuel. They're coming from a mental health association, and they advocate for mental health issues, mental health, what are they called, illnesses. So if you have any comments, any contributions, do feel free to come through those comments using the numbers that are on your TV screens. Unfortunately, we're unable to take your calls, so the only thing we can receive are your text messages, or better yet, you can follow us on our Facebook page, and let's get talking about this thing that is affecting all of us. I think all of us have, in one way or the other, use the word depression. We have mentioned we are depressed. So are we really depressed? That's what we're talking about today. What do you know about depression? Do you have any queries? Do send those queries using the numbers that are on your TV screens. Getting to you, Memory, you've mentioned that there's a duration. I would want to know, like, what's the duration for you to determine, to say, okay, now this is finally depression?
Yes. 2 weeks, that's like the first duration. You can diagnose depression in 2 weeks. Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's when you can really know to say, okay, this is depression.
Yes.
All right. I'm sure there are people who are wondering, they are watching, and they're having a clear picture of what you're saying. So how do I know the symptoms? Like, what symptoms do I pay attention to in order for me to know, like, okay, this is depression and I need to visit the professionals, I need to talk to people who are helping people who have depression?
Yes. So there are symptoms associated with depression, like insomnia, some sleep too much, some have insomnia, there's loss of appetite, loss of pleasure, loss of interest in things that you had interest in, isolation, all those are like
they're under one umbrella.
Yes.
So those are the symptoms we can pay attention to.
Yes.
Okay.
Then suicidal thoughts, all those are mostly associated with those people that isolate themselves, and certain thoughts as well. Yes.
Okay. So Emmanuel earlier, Memory said if there are things that are evident to say, okay, this person, and we need to get help for those people.
Yes.
Or ourselves. How do I help somebody who's depressed? They are not aware that they are depressed, but I've seen the symptoms. Because sometimes you can't just walk up to someone and tell them, no, you are depressed, you need to go get help. How do we help people who are depressed without making them feel any less of themselves, without making them feel like they are not normal or they are not fine?
All right. How do you help someone that is depressed? So, one, you don't have to remind them that they are depressed, because the more you remind them, the brain itself plays a role in which it has to make you, as in, okay, if someone is reminding you of something, then they are telling you to say you are that. So at the end of it all, you will become that because you have been influenced. So when you have looked and you have assessed the signs and the symptoms of depression, you have to give them the reassurance that all will be okay. Yeah, we can do everything possible to help you come out of this. And the most thing I think that has worked much about it is when there's what we term the hijacking the brain. There's how you can hijack the brain into thinking about something that is pleasurable, like the use of defense mechanisms, as in to allow this person, because what we're trying to do is we are trying to suppress that which is depressing that person and increase on something. So there are also hormones related to that. But in someone maybe that doesn't know all this, the best way that you can help someone who's really depressed is let them be comfortable talking to you about something, because a depressed person always has something to say. Like, give them the assurance that if they tell you what is making them to be depressed, you're not going to spread it out, because this is the major leader is in, I think, of suicide, because if I tell someone about this, they are going to publish it to everyone. So us as medical personnel, we consider much about confidentiality, because it helps a lot of people. So even when you're out there, you don't have to expose that person to everyone, that this person has been depressed, because immediately they hear of that, to them it is, I'm finished, and what do I do next? I have to do this. So try to make them, get them things that that they've never loved before, things that will excite them, like as in, okay, can we go to a movie, watch a movie? Okay, can we go somewhere that is a place where it is going to build them the pleasure things, it will bring back their what. And we disallow alcohol in this equation. Yes, we disallow it because we want this person to be, to get back to those normal activities. So reassurance that everything will be okay is key. You get, because psychologically it helps them to say, okay, at least I have someone I can talk to. I have someone I can confide in, because they're always having the mood of apprehension. You are apprehended, as in you are confined. In a confinement, you don't know how to come out. So in that dark corner, you help them by giving them the light. You show them that, okay, this is the light, and we can go about this way. So sure, I think that's what I can say.
Okay, so maybe to add on, sometimes people, it's hard dealing with people that are depressed, and there are people that really don't want to open up and to talk about what they're going through. So if you notice that someone is depressed, you can engage in a conversation with them. Maybe just try to start up something that can enlighten them that maybe this is what I'm going through. Maybe you talk about certain things that are connected to depression, that can start bringing up that vision to them that, maybe this is what I'm going through. Yes.
No, I totally agree with you, because I remember the other time when I wasn't fine, and I noticed a friend of mine wasn't good. I just started the story of myself. Like, you know what? I am grateful to God that at least He gave me an opportunity to come out of where I was. And I started sharing my story. And before I knew it, the other person started crying, and she opened up. She told me, okay, this is what I've been going through. And like, so I definitely agree with that. To the viewers, if you want to be part and parcel of the show, do come through with your comments and contributions using the numbers that are on your TV screens. Unfortunately, we weren't able to take your calls, but we are able to receive your text messages, and do comment on our Facebook page. For now, we're just going to call for a short break. We'll be right back after this, even as we continue discussing everything depression.
Are you perplexed about how to overcome the financial, psychological, and mental health challenges around you? Well, worry no more, because help is here. The Healing Word Ministries International, in conjunction with Camnet TV, cordially invites the general public to a one-day seminar on mental health challenges and mental wellness solutions for individuals, families, the church, and society. Speakers include Dr. William Perry, President, Mental Health Association of Zambia; Dr. George Tafuna, psychotherapist, Chainame National Mental Health Hospital; Mr. Friday Salamo, Senior Mental Health Officer, the Ministry of Health; Professor Michael Munkumba, Executive Mentor and Life Coach, Mihachi Group; Bishop Peter Tanda Molenga, Presiding Bishop, Christian Word Center International; Pastor Lizzie Dakambozi, President, Aglo International; and Dr. Evan Sperry from the Spirit of Faith Ministries. The venue is at the Healing Word Ministries International Church in Ibex Hill, Lusaka, on the 6th of April 2024, from 08:30 hours to 17 hours at only 250 kwacha all round, food inclusive. Guest artist Ruben Kabwe and Bro Oswald. Dr. Nevas Mumba will be our guest of honor for this event.
Like a rush of a mighty wind, the Holy Ghost descended upon the 120.
You can get your tickets from Camnet office in Ibex Hill between 08 hours and 17 hours, or you can buy via mobile money on 0962 965883 or 0979 753010. For more details, you can call 0962 965883 or 0979 753010. Don't miss. See you there.
Mental health has become a very serious issue, and we need to pay attention to our mental health. We need to also pay attention to the people that are around us and just get the necessary help that we need. It's no longer a taboo, it's no longer an abomination to talk about our mental health. And time again, people from this association have mentioned that when we hear just the word Chainama, we always affiliate it with madness, but that's not what it is. Mental health is a broad issue. There are like a whole lot of things. So make sure that every Saturdays you are tuned in. We are always here every Saturdays at 10:45, and we just get to talk about different topics. And today we are talking about depression. Have you been depressed before? How did you come out of it, or are you still depressed? And if you need people to talk to, they have social platforms where you can just follow them up, or you can just go at Chainama or Levy and you find them. You get the necessary help that you need. And guess what? They are free services that they're offering, and then there are those ones that you have to pay for. But the good news is that they are free programs there, so you have to make sure that you get the help that you need. So do come through with your comments and contributions. My name is Amazing Katamanda. I'm not alone in studio. I am with Emmanuel and Memory. They are just helping us to digest on this topic of depression. So somebody might be asking themselves, there's a saying that goes, prevention is better than cure. So is there a way on how you can prevent depression?
Yes, there are a lot of ways that you can prevent depression. One of them being there are people that get depressed over maybe listening to sad music. You know, there are sad musics.
I think
where you feel, whenever you listen to that song, you just feel low, and your mood from there on just changes. And there are also environmental factors that affect us. They can be prevented as well. There are people that maybe go into clubs, bars, but they don't really feel, you know, like going there. But after that, when they sit down, they start reflecting, they feel depressed. Like, why did I go there? And so on. Yes. There are also maybe there are people that are born with low dopamine. They've got sad moods, if I may say so. Their moods are always like low. They can also go to the hospital, get checked out, yes, and if there is need of medication, they can also start taking medication on time. Yes.
Okay. She's mentioned something very, very, very vital, and I think I can relate with that, because I remember there was a time when I always like referring to personal stories, because I mean they are just real, they're authentic, and everybody can resonate or relate. You know, you have this particular friend who's always sad, they're always saying their sad stories, and then you just discover, like, every time I'm with this person, my mood just changes, I just become like low. So is it safe to say depression is contagious?
Yes, it is.
Very.
It is contagious. And there are people who are thinking, no, it's a genetic thing. Is depression genetic?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. I honestly didn't know. It's good that we have you and we're learning. So when somebody comes for help, you get to ask them, like, the families where they're coming from.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, the family background is key to us, because without finding out how this person is, where they're coming from, it will be an incomplete diagnosis, because since it is associated with a lot of factors, and of which we mentioned that the biological factor that has to deal with some hormones in the body, such as serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, all those are associated with depression. So, and maybe this patient was born with, I can say, maybe there's also a defect maybe in the lobes in the brain. It can also cause that. So that people, maybe their parents were always depressed, or maybe their parents have an history of depression, yes, at some point. So these things can be transmitted through the genes. So the gene will actually pick that same copy of depression, and then you will be born with it. So the family, that's why we have to ask, have you ever maybe had someone who in your family was at one point depressed? Have you ever had suicidal cases in your family? So all those, if you look at them, because we cannot, away from the spiritual, but us as medical would say, oh, okay, this person in the family, they're having suicide, like here and there, then we're going to associate it with a genetics, as in this person is, I think this is genetically enshrined. So we'll look at it from that point. So then when we look at it from that point, we'll now have to do certain investigations, such as imaging, where we are going to say, okay, well, which part of the brain maybe has a damage. We'll look at it. Maybe the ventricles in the brain, they're not well organized. Maybe the amygdala is not also that well organized. So we'll also look at it from that point. Then we'll know that, okay, this is genetics.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So family history is also key for us to make a diagnosis for depression.
Okay.
Yes.
I think in the olden days, it's only now that people are encouraged to talk about how they are feeling. But with our parents, they were just taught to be like strong. Our great grandparents were taught to just be strong, especially for men. Like they didn't have that environment where like you can cry or express yourself, because they told, no, a man doesn't cry, a man has to be strong. And we saw how they were just strong, because I don't remember ever seeing any of my grandparents sad at any point or them complaining about something. But then, because we have more knowledge, coming to think about it, there were things that they would say that are making me now realize, like, oh, okay, I think maybe that was depression. So now, because we're a different generation, how can we do things differently? How can we just make sure that we prevent ourselves from being depressed? And if at all, you mentioned something, if I stand to be corrected, you mentioned something about some people are born with low something, so those ones, it's not their fault. Like they can't even control how they feel about certain issues, yes, about themselves. But for us who are aware, like fully aware of what is going on, how can we just like prevent ourselves? How can we help ourselves live a healthy and better life, and just, you know, not get ourselves into the depressing state, or I don't know.
Okay, I think I would talk about social networking.
Mm-hmm.
So social networking is also important. It plays a very vital role, mm-hmm, when it comes to preventing depression.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I have a certain group of people that I can talk to,
mm-hmm,
we as an association, we're trying to put that in place where we can be having such people. They come together and talk about their depressing episodes. Mm-hmm. That way it helps. Mm-hmm. If you hear someone's point of view, as in what made them to be depressed, mm-hmm, and this other person, it encourages you. Mm-hmm. Just like you talked about, you made mention of a story and how a certain friend, mm-hmm, opened up to you. Mm-hmm. So that way as well, it might prevent depression, because it looks at a point from, okay, if me, I'm saying like I'm depressed from this point of view, mm-hmm, then I look at my neighbor who's also facing, I think, a lot of challenges, mm-hmm, in life, social challenges in life, and then they are overcoming them, and then maybe a person is just, maybe depression is due to, maybe as a result of a rejection and all that. Mm-hmm. Then there's this person maybe he was involved in a traumatic accident, from, mm-hmm, an accident, lost a beloved one, mm-hmm, from maybe losing a beloved one, lost a job and all that. Mm-hmm. So this person that person who's encouraging you in that way, maybe is most likely to be more depressed than you are. Mm-hmm. So if you look at it from that point, you'll be like, I think my case is even better. Mm-hmm. Let me try to overcome it. Mm-hmm. Yes, you get. So that person will be encouraged from that point of view. Mm-hmm. So when we have a social network, mm-hmm, of people that we can talk to, mm-hmm, we talk to our fellow friends who are depressed, mm-hmm, it helps us. Mm-hmm. Yes, it will help us. Mm-hmm. So even we've proved crying would also help. A cry, mm-hmm, a cry can also help. A very good cry.
Cries I call good cry.
Yes, a very good cry. A very good cry. Mm-hmm. It also helps. There's that in the brain that will just trigger
just
you,
bringing it out.
Yes, mm-hmm, so it's more like you're bringing out all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a good cry can also help prevent that, and then after that you feel much better. Mm-hmm. You know, you feel much better. Even I think doing something that you've never done before, as in, okay, let me just do something different. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, let me try to,
maybe sports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
going to the gym. Mm-hmm. Just avoiding those moments where you feel, yes, if I'm alone now, I'll start thinking of things that I'm not supposed to. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sure.
Support groups as well. Mm-hmm. They also help very much.
Okay, I remember there was this one time we were just, like playing, and then we were at the farm. Then this cousin of mine comes and tells me, let's go at the mountain. We go on top of the mountain, and then she says, scream anything, just shout, just whatever you want to do, just like. And then I don't know, I ended up like, crying. it wasn't like a natural thing or a common thing. I was just surprised, like, oh, okay, so it's obvious I've been having things, but given an opportunity to just like scream it out, cry it out, and we're able to just hear yourself and just let go. Afterwards, I even felt better. I didn't even know, like, oh, okay, there were things that I needed to. But after just screaming it out, it's like a whole heavy burden was just, taken out of me. So I definitely agree doing things that are out of the normal usual activities that you normally do. You just do something different. There are people who are watching right now. They're on the verge of taking their own lives because they felt overwhelmed, they couldn't open up. And the reason why people don't open up, we know there's social media. These days, everybody is creating content. I could be chatting with you as a friend. I'm opening up. You're already recording. And before I know it, you're already putting it out on your social handles. I also this friend of mine, so this is a voice note we made. So guys, what for you? It's content, but somebody is trying to like get help. So it's I don't know if it's justified to say people don't want to open up because they don't want to find their stories on social media. So for those who are scared to open up to their friends, are there any facilities that we can visit in order for us to just like feel safe? Because if I come to you as a professional, I can be rest assured that whatever I'm going to share with you, I'm not going to say it on social media. But if I share with my friend, then everybody else will know. So are there any facilities where we can get to these free services? Because to be honest, these services are quite expensive.
Sure.
So are there like free facilities that are offering help? Offering help to people who are depressed or just having mental health illnesses?
Yes, these facilities are there, except that they're not well known for dealing with mental health issues. Yeah, but I would look at it from the point of us as an association. We are also that group that helps people. Yes. Just that we are not. We are yet to be established in different vicinities where we can be functioning fully. Yeah, just at this point we are functioning at Levi Manawas and Chainama College Hill Hospital there. So that's where we are. But considering other places, we have places where that offer counseling and guidance. I think there are people that have that are trained maybe in cognitive behavioral therapy, that there we have psychosocial counselors that they can talk to. So these things have stages. If maybe a psychosocial counselor fails to handle, they can refer them maybe to a psychologist. A psychologist takes it up from there, plus and all that. So those are the places that they need to talk to be one. I think even a church also plays a major role in advocating to mental health advocates. If they can talk to a pastor and all that, then they can be at least, we can say they'll be relieved. You get, they can be relieved. Just identifying who to talk to is very important. A person that you have known for some time, and if I talk to this person, at least I am going to be relieved of this, because this person is going to offer abstract information that will help me overcome this depression this depressing episode that I'm having. So you start with identifying who you can talk to even before it gets to a facility, because it has to be on I'm not just supposed to move from, I'm going to move from here and then I go to the hospital directly, because I have to see someone. Then this person advises me to say, I can help you with this and that. And then I think everyone here has ever had that situation where, this is my level, but from considering what you've explained to me, visit a counselor, the facility, they'll help. Then from there, the facility takes it up. Yeah, so hospitals, we find the counseling unit. Then the church, you can also do that. Yeah, I think those two facilities are the ones that I'll talk about. And some youth-friendly spaces. Yeah, very important. Yeah.
True. Okay, so I'm curious about something.
Sure.
I don't know if you have the statistics. Yeah. Who is, like, if you do at all, you can answer, but if you don't, we can just switch to something else. Who's more depressed between the females or the males?
The males.
Yes.
And I guess from 2021 to today, you can see and hear that there are more suicidal cases
for
men than for women, despite having a lot of females. Yes, so I could say the males are more depressed because they are told Mamuna Samaliva.
Mamuna Kukosa.
Yes. So all that, I feel they don't open up, and it's rare finding men talking to each other about what they're going through because they feel it's a sign of weakness. Yes, maybe they'll judge them. No, siwo limba, those things. Yes.
Let's hear from him. Okay.
I can attest to what she has said. Men are mostly depressed. Yeah. Even the people I think that commit suicide mostly are men.
Yeah.
Even the people that access health facilities today, we are going to say women access health facilities more than men because of their socio-economic status. Yeah. So men are like, okay, in the clinic, just this. But you see that women are always rushing up and down, more fast to act than men. The same say in Mamuna Samadida is what kills, I think, killing most of us men. Because we are not considering our mental state, Yeah, we're not keeping our mental health, or we are not taking it very serious, considering the fact that we are men. You don't want to be judged. You don't want to be judged for speaking out, even when it is a simple thing. You just want to keep it to yourself, as in I'll just die with it. I'm not going to tell anyone. So I'll handle it my way.
And it's eating you up.
And then we end up complicating the whole system, the whole thing, to the point where we break now. You are just depressed. You don't even have anyone to talk to. Yeah. Me personally, those episodes usually come, but I have identified who I can talk to, who I can reach out to, and they will come to me and help me out.
Okay.
Yes, it is. I have really identified that. But statistically speaking, as men, we are more depressed, and we are the ones that suicidal rate.
Okay. So you, because you're a man,
yes.
Before you started doing this course, were you ever in a situation where somebody comes and they tell you something, then mambo say, you know, mamu, how can you be saying this? Or how can you allow this? How can you what? And then now that you're more aware, are you making like deliberate solutions or deliberate moves when somebody comes to you, they're telling you things, you pay attention because now you have the knowledge, you are aware on what has to be done right?
Yes, I'm always aware.
Okay.
Yeah, so people, there are a lot of friends, that considering, especially the fact where you look at you at a multi-facility where that offers different range of courses and all that. So you are most likely to be depressed from such environment because you're going to be, people are going to look low on you, as in people would even discriminate you and all that. But there's a way of how you can you just close, as in there's closing your ears. You are hearing what this person is saying, but you just put it behind your back that this, if I pay attention to it, I am going to do that. That's why on my part, I've learned to walk away from certain conversations, and I don't care what that person is going to say. I'm just going to walk away straight, because immediately that person touches what triggers the depression, then you are gone, and I'm gone. So immediately I start to sense that what this person is trying to do is to depress me, because this is what, boarding houses and all that houses where we come from. Someone maybe will just start to pick a fight with you early in the morning, and then they just want you to, so that they'll call it, they want to be bossy. And then Chikadi, I made you feel like that. Hey, what told you, mom? Those things, as if you're not a man. Hey, just this simple thing, and you're already you are busy talking up and all that. So to avoid that is walking away. I think would be the best. Okay. Just walk away, and then you start to reflect. To say, okay, she was just trying to do that. And at the end of the day, before you even start an argument, better you just tell the person, okay, you've won. Yeah, you've won. There's that say. Yeah. Okay.
For you, Memory. I know. We've said depression can be contagious, or it is contagious. Being found around people who are depressed most of the times, they have all these mental disorders. Do you also, as a professional, also seek help? Do you also just put things in place to just make sure that you also don't get affected, or you don't allow that situation that you're mostly surrounded with affect who you are or affect you? Because at the end of the day, despite you doing what you're doing, you are human. Yes. So just being around people who are depressed, people who are fat, people who are sick, people who are not okay, it gets to you. Do you also seek help? Do you also go for
Yes, we do. Okay, we do very much, because it's hard. Like, this one will come tell you this, that one will come tell, and at the end of the day, I'm human. When I'm going home, I'll start thinking, because those things don't just go away just there. They will be in your mind, and you start thinking through as well. Yeah, so you need something as well. As for me, I feel I talk to my friends, yes, but not about what those people are telling me, just about maybe, I need something, maybe fun, let's do something fun. Or sometimes I cancel myself. I'll be like, okay, I'll not let this affect me. I set up boundaries, and I think most of my colleagues set up boundaries as well. Okay, I'm not supposed to let this affect me. This is just for work. This is just that, Okay. So sometimes you go to get cancelled.
Even the counselor also needs counsel. The therapist also needs therapy. That just tells us that we are human beings, and we are bound to be affected or infected. So
all prone to this.
Nobody's above it. Nobody's above it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, we are in the dying minutes of the show, but I hope that you have learned, I don't want to say a thing, I hope that you have learned something. So if you have any comments and contributions, do feel free to come through with those. And then, of course, if there's any topic that you'd want us to talk about with regards to mental illnesses or mental issues, do send those topics, and then we'll definitely get to talk about them, because we need help, and all of us are experiencing different kind of things. So let's get interactive. Tell us what you want us to talk about. Now, because we're in the dynamics of the show, I have to allow, this time I'm going to go with a gentleman. Your winding remarks just to the viewers, and then of course with regards to the topic of discussion that we had today.
All right. To my fellow men and the viewers at large, one thing I would want to say or urge everyone is that these things are real. They're very real. We are hearing a lot of cases about why people are committing suicide, and people are not taking that serious. That in a saying as I can't kill myself for that reason and that reason, but these things are very serious, and are things that depression itself is something that we need to pay particular attention, because it might affect your livelihood, it might affect your work, it might affect your social life, So immediately you start to feel or to have these symptoms that we made mention, such as restlessness, insomnia, social isolation, some sadness, apathy, you are losing interest in all the things that you were doing before. Be sure to consult someone that you can talk to about that, because at the end of it all, it might bring damage to you. So take it seriously. Take it seriously, as in your mental health. You should take it seriously. So I think with those words, I think that's what I can say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope that you have taken notes, and now let's hear from the beautiful lady, Memory. What are your last remarks?
So I could say mental health is real.
That is your camera, because I want people to really hear you and get you.
Yes, mental health is real, and you really need to put it into consideration. A lot of people are going through a lot. You are going through a lot, but you don't know that this is mental health. So if you feel there's something wrong, it's good you see someone you trust. You go to the hospital, especially Chinama. Chinama is there for people that are not just mad, because we've labeled Chinama as a place for mad people. Chinama offers a lot of services there. For depressed people, people that want to quit alcohol, people that are having insomnia, and a lot more. Counseling just there, everything is done there. It's free, so you need to go there, you need to get checked up. And for men, I feel men really need to take care of their mental health as well, because they don't open up. Visit Chinama, talk to your friends. The saying of Mamuna Samalila, it's not real. The more you don't cry, it's like you're just weakening up yourself. Talk to someone, just same as women. Talk to someone. Go to the hospital whenever you feel something is wrong, even if it's a day. Just because we mentioned that the duration for mental health it's like 2 weeks, you can go even in a day if you feel no, this is what I'm feeling is not normal. You can go for help. Call for help. Suicide is not a solution. Take care of your mental health. Make it a priority always.
Okay. Thank you so very much, my beautiful lady and our handsome gentleman. Thank you for joining us this morning. I don't know if I'm going to have the same team or a different team, but thank you so much for coming through today. We are grateful, at least we've learned a whole lot of things. And to the viewers, we just want to appreciate you for taking time to just sit down and then learn about your mental health, your mental, this is something that is very serious and you should take it very serious. Let's take care of ourselves, let's take care of our loved ones, let's get help for our loved ones. We really need to be in a good space mentally. All right, so I've learned a whole lot of things and I sure hope that you have also learned something. Be sure to catch us again next week. But for now, just like to say thank you to the entire production crew, my director today, Mr. C, and you for watching as well. Thank you so very much. And not forgetting the pastors, Pastor Moses and Victoria, for giving us this platform to just get chit-chatting with you, for us to just learn together. Remember, if you're an artist, if you're a poet, if you're an author, and what you do is just preach the gospel using different platforms, please do get in touch with us. If you want to be featured on the show, do get in touch with us using the numbers that are on your TV screens, or better yet, you can inbox us on our Facebook page, and then we'll let you know on how you can find yourself here. So this has been Amazing Katamanda, and I'll always be the Amazing Katamanda. For now, it's goodbye. Keep it locked to Camnet TV. You know, we're not just another channel. Thank you.